get out there to try and get the truth out, because the problem Trinidad and Tobago faces, the number one problem, is that the mass media is the most corrupt, biased, dishonest media in the Caribbean. That's why Keith Christopher Rowley could actually call himself the Prime Minister. Because if any reasonable person put Keith Rowley in every single category, from character, attitude, heart, passion, family life, manhood, discipline, English, brain, stick-to-itiveness, diligence, intelligence, creativity, love for the people, policy, and you put Keith Christopher Rowley versus Kamla Prasad Bisesa, there should be no discussion. But when you have a dishonest media who uplifts and hides and obfuscates for Keith Rowley, that's why we are in this mess. One of the main reasons. The other reasons are that the PNM control all the independent institutions. And since 1956, 1961, you have constituencies where you could see Kamla Prasad Bisesa in local government could turn the whole island of Trinidad yellow. But yet somehow it's 7 all.
I noticed that the Heliconia Foundation
the PNM Heliconia, the Balize PNM Foundation, yes.
They would have put out a press release to the United National Congress. What is your response to that?
I don't listen to anything the PNM have to say. So Heliconia, you want to put out a press release? Tell me where Camille get the $145,000 cash and what form she signed. Tell me where Rowley went to see cow and goat and how he got goat and sheep for his farm in Tobago. Where the bills? Tell me how Balize house building, where they get the 120 million to build it. Tell me where Rowley get the emails from and how long and how hard he continues to lie. Tell me which minister, Foster Cummings and Rowley, which minister in the cabinet, both of them sharing. Tell me about how Keith Rowley and Smallpin went to Australia and without procurement buy 2 ferry, 1.5 billion. Tell me how the HDC contract reached in the cabinet. Tell me how Bridgman still making money, $205 million when Rowley said crooked. Tell me about these things, Heliconia PNM. Me, I want to, Kamala don't take you on, we don't take you on, and we're not interested in anything the PNM has to say. We just want them to call our election and get out of the country, just like what Tobago did them over there.
So I look at the Senate and I think that the UNC opposition senators, you all do a very good job at bringing a good level debate content to the House. I have noted that when you are debating, there seems to be a bit of some sort of energy on the other side. Why do you think that is, and in particular you when you are on your legs?
Well, that's a good question. You gotta ask them that. But let me tell you something. The UNC team is so strong, led by Senator the Honorable Wade Mark, Jolene John, David Nakit, Jayanti Lachmiyal, Damian Lyda, and myself. It's only 6 of us, and we're fighting 16 PNM plus another 6 because they have independent PNM senators. So it's about 22 versus 6 and we still mashing them up. It means they ain't no good. You see, competition, politics is competition. The UNC, we believe in merit. If you're good, if you're bright, if you work hard, you earn a job. The PNM does not believe in that. They believe that they must find the dumbest, they must find the least productive, they must find the worst possible, uplift them to positions like Simon D. Nobriga, the nosebreaker, who he has to admit that out of the whole of Fatima College, he would be the last one to be a minister. And that is true. At least he's honest on that point. But the PNM does not believe in merit. We believe in merit, so don't worry that. They don't want truth to come out because they like to lie. One thing about Rowley and his government, they could lie. They are local liars, and now they went in quest of an interview, and they are now known as international global liars because Smallpin lied on the place.
But how does the CNN know about Trinidad and Tobago and our energy? And how do you know about Minister Young? Talk to us about what did you think about that CNN interview?
Well, I'm glad you said that because obviously they did not know, because Quest ended the interview by saying, I did not know that Trinidad and Tobago was such a big global player in oil and gas. Then Mr. Quest, how he reached? If they didn't know how he reach on your show. So that's again PNM. Whether they pay, whether they beg, whether the lobbyists that they pay 15 million US a year for the last 7 years, that's his job to get them a little interview on Quest for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And it was fraught with lies. He ball we have 4 train. He can't even count. It's 3 train, 1 dead. Because you see, they don't understand when thing dead, let it rest. That's why Rowley just had to use horny go to it. He wouldn't let it rest, you understand? And right here in Diego Martin in Victoria Keys, we asking Rowley why the police has patrol Victoria Keys so much. Who they monitoring? You had twins there, Rowley, answer the question. You're going on gallery in press conference. You with your 72-year-old self don't know about handling your business and respecting your family and things yet? You still feel as a young boy? Anyway, I'll go deal with it later.
I believe in the last few weeks, up to I think even yesterday into today, we heard of a few deaths in Diego Martin. And Diego Martin is held strongly by the People's National Movement along by 3 ministers. Why is it that the government has not found the political will to protect the people within their own constituencies at least?
Because they are protected. Them are special branch, them are bulletproof, them in One Road Brook, the member of parliament for Lavantie living in Maraval, them good. They only need the people to vote based on race to put them in power so they can procure without procurement. You feel them care that a 52-year-old mother was killed today? You feel they care that 205 murders and they're going to hit a world record of 560 murders this year? You feel they care? They've done nothing. They don't care. Rowley goes and play golf while people are dying and children are being raped. They kept a report that everybody knew children are being abused in state-funded institutions, monitored and managed by the state. They kept that report. It was given in since December 2021. Marshal Lorraine Walker posted that. I couldn't even believe, because when I saw the report, my initial comment was, boy, this thing, action, it must have been laid in the month of Ramadan, but they tell we nothing because I find them moving slow. It was a week and no action, because if a child is being killed, raped, battered, you have to move quick. You have to go in there, CCTV camera, new security, light up, police, army, investigation, statements, keep the children safe. You have to do something. They sit down for a report for 6 months, and Rowley come to talk today and attack Kamala about how he don't have PIP. It's really, they do not care. They have no heart. So we just have to take care of each other until the PNM gets out of government. The people of Diego Martin up in Rich Plain, they desecrated a mosque. The police acting PNM Commissioner of Police, who was appointed by Rowley because he thwarted the meritless and misbehaving public office. He went up in Diego Martin and accused Diego Martin boys in Rich Plain of calling down, warn the police. When you hear the shout and you do the ballistics and the autopsy, if police shoot police, and he has not apologized, Rowley ain't come and say nothing. They gone and they desecrate a mosque, walking with the nasty boots where people pray. In a Mandir, in Karapo, people are cooking corned beef because of the divisive racist policies of Rowley. And to all of y'all who want to say Kamala this and Kamala old and Kamala weak and Kamala can't win, all of that nonsense. You have the devil in your face and you studying Kamala. So both you are Vasant, all you who love the devil, stay out of my face, because you see this country, we go deal with all you and tell the right thinking people, unite and get rid of the devil. I want Muslim praying, Hindu praying, Orisha, Shouta Baptist, Jah Rastafari. Everybody pray to get rid of the flipping PNM. All you get my vex for the meeting, boy. Somebody come and talk like that, somebody, boy.
All right, so guys, we want to thank you all for viewing our pre-show, our live, and Senator Roberts, take us out into the The TNT.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, share the live. Atlantic, UNC, Douglas politics across the board. All UNC constituency executive, TNT speaks. We are crossing now. Atlantic Studios, Archie. We are in Diego Martin, the United National Congress. Strong, united, together, one leader, heart, soul, bringing the people back in charge of the government. The United National Congress. Thursday night, TNT speaks. Let's go.
Good evening. Good evening. Please stand for the national anthem. Do you have a recording? Please remain standing for our UNC prayer. Almighty God, creator of the universe and embodiment of fine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless this meeting and may it be productive and fruitful. Give us the grace to always see good and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and inequity. Inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Grant that we will always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. Amen. I now hand over to you this great TNT Speaks in Diego Martin to our chairman, Anil Roberts.
Thank you. Dr. Kirk Mayhew. Good evening, Diego Martin. Good evening, UNC across Trinidad and Tobago. There is one party that is ready to be the government. One party with one leader, with one purpose, to take Trinidad and Tobago out of the morass that we found ourselves in. Yes, we have made errors in electing the PNM as a country. The mass media has made errors in upholding the incompetent, pathological liar that is Keith Rowley. But we have no time to cry over spilled milk. We must unite and move forward to bring solutions to Trinidad and Tobago. Job creation, economic diversification, forex extension and expansion, education opportunities for our children, investment in sport and culture. We must bring back our dilapidated infrastructure, attack the crime problem, and a myriad of other problems. Trinidad and Tobago's problems are so far and wide. We need all hands on deck. If you divide, you are a PNM. If you look for your own selfish motives because you want a job or a position, Bo, Vassant, whoever else, you are PNM. This is the worst time, the darkest time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. The country is now ready for the sun to rise to bring light and hope, unity, love, and the feeling of being Trinbagonian back again. Rowley has divided us. We have allowed an insane, heartless, clueless man to divide this country. We the people must reject division and unite under the rising sun. Wear the yellow and bring hope and light back to Trinidad and Tobago. Illuminate us from the darkness. Good evening and welcome to Diego Martin. We should be in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago. The good life should be here in Diego Martin because the PNM Prime Minister is Diego Martin. The PNM Minister of Finance is Diego Martin. The PNM Duns who couldn't get into Fatima is Diego Martin. The Minister of Communication, 3 powerful ministers in cabinet. Then what I think you will hear tonight from Speaker, from local government, come right up will be how great thou art in the PNM in Diego Martin. Wouldn't you hear that? Wouldn't you expect that an area that holds and boasts of having the Prime Minister will be flawless, pristine, full of hope and positivity? But I live in Diego, so I know they ain't going to hear that. Because Rowley is the biggest goat to ever sit in an office of Prime Minister. I don't know how anybody could dip their finger for that. You people, forget party, forget division, forget race. Trinidad and Tobago is sunk. Gypsy say our ship was sinking. Well, this ship done sunk and rotting and rusting on the bed of the ocean 600 meters down. Bring in the first speaker to the podium, where the United National Congress believes in synergy of local government through the top, through all chains and levels of production to serve you, the people, so that councillors could call ministers and ministers listen and WhatsApp and message the councillors who are in contact with the people. So we serve the people. That's the philosophy of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. So coming first to speak to you in Diego Martin is a man, Randall Nigel Patterson. Randall Patterson is one of our hard-working UNC activists who has put his best foot forward as a candidate in the 2019 local government elections, which made sure that today we can boast of having an alderman in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation to keep an eye on the corrupt PNM. He refuses to sit by and allow poor people to suffer. He is a man of the people, for the people, by the people. Please welcome Mr. Randall Nigel Patterson.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. A pleasant good night. Pleasant good night to our Honorable Leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Senators, Diego Martin residents, the elderly, the women, the young people, pleasant good night. I find myself in a predicament tonight as Monday night with our firebrand Minister, MP, for Princess Tong, where he doesn't like to start his speeches by quoting the PNM. But I have no choice but to quote its leader tonight. The Prime Minister said he's a proud black man. So what happened to us in Diego Martin? We want to be proud black people in Diego Martin too, right? And from 2010 to 2015, the UNC, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, made sure that the elderly, the women, the young people could hold their heads high and be proud black people in Trinidad and in Diego Martin. But for the past 7 years, pride in Diego Martin is a scarce resource. Imagine in this 2022 in Diego Martin, down in the west, as they like to say, we still have to pull 300-400 feet of hose to get 2 barrels of water full, and then before water go. Our children under COVID in 2022 missing school, being considered dropouts because they don't have a laptop, they don't have a tablet, they don't have a smartphone, no money to pay the internet bill or buy data. Daddy going to work with the phone. We want to be pro black people in Diego Martin too. Imagine your grandmother, imagine your grandfather fix one knee, they fix one eye under Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. And now they lay down home and they can't come down the hills. And they can't go anywhere. Because the PNM, they say, they can't fix the next one for them. Very pride for our old people. And imagine our women, oh gosh, all they know this man and these women and them. Imagine our women have to come out and wind down low behind campaign trucks to get a box of food to feed their children. If they don't wind down low behind that truck, nothing for them. And all they know this man is feel about women. Our women have to line up in the hot sun, pouring rain, taking public shaming for a bag of food. Our black women in Diego Martin, they can't even claim their pride, but you're a proud black man. And these are your people. Imagine we have to be lying for everything to get a little something. We have to lie for a public assistance form. Old people have to lie to get a little pension if they have a little parlor. Women have to lie and expose all the business just to get a food card and still get blank when they're done. Well, this government making sure that we even have to lie that we are black and proud. Only remember Ramadasan? Yeah. When they used to mock him and call him the Minister of Food Card? Yeah. If Kamala Prasad Bisesa, see that lady, she made sure that that Minister of Food Card never allow women and old people to be little themselves to get a food card or get a public assistance in this country. They didn't have to prove how poor they was or how hard our life is by exposing all their business for everybody to see. All they had to do was ask, fill out a form, and they could go to the grocery every month end with dignity and pride. That is what UNC is about. Then you have our young people, the same ones who cannot study because you take away gate from them. They take away the laptops. They stop them from getting free data when they would get nationwide. You're coming now when they reach of age to vote and waking them up election morning, or they get up, go and vote. But when you wake them up and sending them to vote, make sure you tell them to vote for the UNC, because when they vote for the UNC, they're going to get back the scholarships. They will get back their laptops. Yes. They will get jobs when they finish school. Yeah. They will not just sit down and watch you in your face home. They will get back to being proud black people, just like the. So I'm telling you tonight, when this man get caught up and they catch him with the incompetence, with his pants down, and he started singing songs stupidness. But Faris, and go drink your rum and tell him, oh, hold up, that old talk and that bacchanal behavior, not fooling we. And when the crowd settle on, and they say, watch him. Yeah, so now you get your laugh. Where we jobs? Where the money to buy food? How that kind of stupid behavior supposed to make we proud black people? Watch him and ask him, you are a big man behaving stupid, so best you watch him and say, as he start to behave so, you know what? Watch him out and give me a damn chance. That's all I had to tell you. So I leave you with this. When people ask me, and I walk around UNC, walk around Diego Martin as a UNC activist, they ask me, why the UNC? I tell them, very proudly, when Kamala Prasad Bisesa hears women, when she hears children cry, when she hears old people cry, she instructs her government to find money and fix these people's problem. And when the PNM leader hears these same cries, he goes to his ministers and asks them to give him the best load of BS he could find to explain to these damn fools why they need to shut up and take the pressure. And that is why I choose the UNC. Good night, Diego Martin.
Make some noise for Randall Patterson. $72,000 meals per day for school. 28,000. 160,000 laptops for children. None. 133 million per year for textbooks. Cut by 100 million cut. Funding for UTT, COSTAT, MIC, NESC centers, 726 million in gate. Cut UTT, close down NESC, close down MIC, close down everything. Who you voting for? UNC! That is how simple politics is. So don't let Rowley, who is a double-stuffed Oreo, and yes, as Anil says so, Anil, the black African Tobagonian and East Indian sari mother wearing, say that Kid Rowley is an Oreo because only a man who hates black people will treat black people like that. But then come and tell all you, don't vote for that lady because she's an Indian. Really? But the Indian lady seeing about we. The Indian lady showing care for we. The Indian lady giving we job. The Indian lady giving we food. The Indian lady keeping we safe. The Indian lady love we. Talking about love. I'm bringing a man who's been a stalwart in the United National Congress for 25 years. He served on several boards across the government. He's a man who has taken care of children, single mothers, and the people of Diego Martin for decades. He is the #1 Diego Martin activist, a culture man, a man who believes in the spirit of Trinidad and Tobago. Bringing to the podium, Mr. Don Sylvester.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. When I heard all those accolades, I was looking behind because I can't believe it's me you're talking about.
But it's true, it's true.
Honorable political leader Kamala Prasad Bissessa, good night. I know you are listening. Jolene John, Senator. Senator Anil Roberts. The great schoolmate of mine, Brother Wade Mark. Yeah. I want to say tonight that when Diego Martin rolls, it rolls. And I'm feeling strongly that we're really going to roll. We are structured in such a way that only success will come to the UNC. Yes, in Diego Martin West, we have a coordinator, a real work jumbie, a workhorse. She is success driven. Marshall Riley Walker. And she will have, working with her, the chairman of the constituency, who had an eye operation today, so he couldn't be here tonight, but a Sterling Chase. Let's say hello to Sterling Chase. And he has an executive, and they will begin work in Diego Martin West immediately. Marsha's a big task, but we know she can handle it. She has to take care of people from Bagatelle, Green Hill Village, Covine Road, Rich Plain, La Puerta, Point Cumana, Westmoreland, St. Peter's Village down in Carnage, and even down the islands we have members. Her task will be a hard one, but she could feel relieved that we all will join together and work with her to bring home Diego Martin West for the United National Congress. There are people who have already started contacting us, offering themselves to work, which I'll pass on to her. And people are anxious to be counselors in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. So she is doing her best in the West, and we say, Marsha, the people with you, and keep working as you are, and you will really bring success in Diego Martin West. In Diego Martin Central, we have a senator doing some coordination, Senator Damian Lyder, another workhorse, another work jumbie. He has a chairman of a constituency, Kieran Thomas from Kukurit, and they have started organizing Kukurit, Pity Valley, Diamond Vale, and a lot of little areas in and between to ensure that Diego Martin Central will come home to the United National Congress. That's 2 Diego Martins. We have one more. Diego Martin Northeast. The coordinator there is Brother Eli Zaku. He has working with him a real chairman, Randall Patterson. Randall has an executive. Randall has adopted a system whereby they are ensuring that when the time comes and the party has selected local government candidates for the area, that they must ensure that each of them can guarantee at least 2,000 votes. And that's not just by talking about it. They must have the record to show. They must have the 2,000 people by name and number, so that we from the administration can also keep in touch with these people to ensure that when the bell is rung, Diego Martin Northeast goes the way of Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the United National Congress. This will be a great achievement. The people are becoming anxious. We are getting people to volunteer, not looking for pay or stipend up front. No, we are getting people to volunteer now to work for this party. And that work, according to Marsha, is for their
Future.
That is it.
We have no future.
Their future.
Aye.
Because there's no future under the PNM or Rowley for the people of Diego Martin. So, brothers and sisters, I just gave you a snapshot of the 3 constituencies, and we have started working, and we work very hard to ensure that your future ends up in safe hands. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and the United National Congress. I thank you.
Make some noise for Mr. Don Sylvester. In 2010, I was privileged to go into the parliament as a member of parliament for Dabidi O'Meara. And while we were debating in that parliament, Colmimbot the Dwen was acting in his normal, arrogant, dishonest self. And I looked across at him in crosstalk and I said, if we had only sent 3 more Maxi into Diego Martin Northeast, we would have rid Trinidad and Tobago of you, Dwen. He looked across at me with a sheepish little grin and he said, well, next time I will campaign. I want you to think about that. He was serious. And that thing hit me in my soul, in my heart, in my gut, because he was right. He didn't lie. He did not campaign, yet he got 10,485 votes. Think now, if a man who is hated, if a man who's lived all his life here and you all know he don't like nobody, he don't even like his wife, that man who don't care about nothing or nobody but himself, and yet he does not need to campaign and he is sure of victory. That is why nothing works in Diego Martin Northeast. That is why you're stuck in traffic. That is why you have no water. That is why you have no school. That is why you have no job. That is why you're ducking bullets. Because he does not need to perform to earn your vote. Trinidad and Tobago, we need to change that paradigm or else you will be stuck in the sewer for 8 months when it should have been fixed in 8 days in the Bicam. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC does not say vote for us because you have to, or because you like the lady hairstyle, or you find we look good. We say vote for us because when we are in charge, we perform. The economy is better, jobs, healthcare, culture, sport, education, infrastructure, labor, we perform. And a man who performs throughout Diego Martin and has been a stalwart in the United National Congress is our next speaker. Eli Zakur has been part of the fabric of Diego Martin Northeast for decades. His ties to the community are deep-rooted and far-reaching. His passion for his constituency is matched only by his love for country. He was the 2020 general elections candidate and is currently one of the constituency coordinators of Diego Martin Northeast, a man of the people who, as a businessman, takes care of people without fanfare, without advertisement. Daily, on a daily basis, I see him helping single mothers, giving them groceries and food, and no picture, no gallery. A man of real heart, real passion, who wants to serve you. Please welcome Eli Zakur.
Good night. Good evening, Diego Martin. Yes! Political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, my fellow colleagues, and most importantly, to our UNC supporters in Diego Martin, the reason we are here tonight. A very good evening to you all. My friends, over the last several weeks, I have been touring the constituency of Diego Martin Northeast as one of the constituency coordinators. What I witnessed was profoundly disturbing and heartbreaking. In some parts, the roads are in horrible condition. I could not even walk on several sidewalks because there were no manhole covers. Garbage collection appears to have being discontinued. When it rains heavily, the floods are devastating. Residents were crying out in pain and despair about these and horrible living conditions. And the Minister of Energy goes on international news and tells the world we are living a good life. My colleague David Lee, the Shadow Councillor of Energy, said it perfectly. He is delusional. To whom can these people turn for assistance? What is their reality if they turn to the current administration? Food cards are becoming a thing of the past. There are no jobs, and people no longer feel safe in their own neighborhoods or homes. Many people wanted to come tonight, but were unable to do so due to the increased crime rates in their communities. They don't have the luxury as a police escort like the Minister of National Security, who said to the nation that it's not his duty to ensure people feel safe and secure. Well, I want to ask the Minister of National Security tonight, I hope he is not sleeping. If that is your position, why is it that your picture is up in every police station across the land? Do the right thing, Minister. Take your pictures down.
Take it down. Yes, man.
You know. Thank you. In a little over 3 months, we will celebrate 60 years as an independent nation. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion for the people, but what do we really have to be joyous about? Independence Day marks the birth of our freedom to govern ourselves as a nation. The irony of it all is, are we really true as a people? If we look around us, the quality of our lives today as a people, the answer is clear. We are not free. We are not free from living peacefully and without fear for our lives. We are not free to have stable employment. We are not free to realize our dreams and fullest potential. No, we are today all held ransom by the poor decisions of an uncaring government. I want to inform you tonight that we must make a decision. We the people have the power to put an end to the dark era of suffering and unemployment. Our time for making a decision is coming. It is up to you. Do we want to go down this path of poverty and suffering in this country? Or is it time for us to be delivered from this downward spiral by the woman who has fought and continues to fight for the rights and well-being of all in this country, regardless of race, creed, or social standing? We are honored to be led by this strong woman, no other than our very own political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Under her leadership, I can assure you that our future will be one of promise and hope, and lit by the strength of the rising sun. As Prime Minister, she ensured that our country remained progressive. The PNM has accomplished the exact opposite. We must ask ourselves whether we are prepared to do a U-turn and return TNT to a good path of good government and prosperity for all. Or will we continue down the path which only a few PNM ministers and their party financiers benefit from? When we go to the polls in the upcoming local government elections, what will you be voting for? Good governance and good representation. A party with a vision and a plan to achieve it. A party that puts people at the heart of development. More individuals, especially young people, are becoming politically active and who have expressed interest in serving communities across TNT is a genuine credit to the leadership we have in Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. The current administration loves to make promises, and we all know what the PNM stands for. You remember? Promises never materialized. They promise you a safer community, but our community is now polarized more than ever by gun violence, robberies, and murders. They promise you accountability and transparency, but they cannot account for millions of taxpayers' dollars spent on COVID management, while thousands of residents are yet to receive financial relief. They promise a better electricity supply and water supply, but we still suffer from frequent power failures, and we go without pipe-borne water for months at a time. They promise to reduce flooding, but no rivers or waterways have been cleared. They promise to create jobs. Thousands of constituents are jobless. They promise to give you statutory leases to squatters, but this has not happened. We have said time and time again that the PNM has no plan. You have seen it for yourselves. We told you that they don't care about the people of this nation. You have seen for yourselves that the cost of living climbs higher and higher, and your salaries remain the same. We are telling you tonight that the only way forward is with the party of the rising sun. The local government elections are upon us. So let us make the change we need. Thank you and good night.
Make some noise! Eli! Zakur! The PNM. The PNM is the party of grabbers. Rowley grabbed the leadership from Manning with a spirit lash from Lekoto. Rowley grabbed the prime ministership on the bank and ride in the back of email gate lies. Rowley grabbed your laptops from your children. He grabbed food from your table as over 200,000 people have lost jobs. He grabbed rentals and handed it to his own people. He grabbed your wages. He grabbed your refinery. Rowley is a grabber. And he chooses grabbers to put them in the cabinet with him. But grab from grab does make the UNC laugh and foster. Because you grab Rowley bundles and Rowley coming back to grab you. I am a coach and quite a good accomplished coach, I would say. And one of my principles of coaching is that there is no silly question. Any child, any athlete, any question that they ask you about your program or what you want them to do, you must be able to answer them. Answer them based on the science, the preparation, the macro cycle and the micro cycle that you are planning for them, and your goals and the goals that they have set for themselves. Anytime you have a coach who, when asked a question, he comes out and screams at you, shouts at you, berates you, and tells you, don't ask me nothing, just do what I say, that coach is a dunce. Rowley is a dunce. He can answer no question. He can debate no one. And that's what we have as a prime minister. A total, complete dunce. Coming to the podium is a man who has worked his entire life to struggle for the downtrodden. He has put his life, his health, his sanity on the line, fighting for equality, equal rights and justice, equal wages, pension plans, respect for labor. He is fought outside the parliament, in the labor movement, on the roads, in the parliament, in the Senate. This man is a stalwart of the United National Congress, a man who holds respect in every nook and cranny, from Diego Martin to Matlot, to Couva, to Naparima, Princestown, Mayaro, down in Labre, Point Fortin. A man who continues to fight for the people, and a man who will surely, through his research, his debate, and his passion, bring the downfall of the PNM and uplift the rising sun once more. Please bring to the podium the Honorable Senator, Senator Wade Mark.
Thank you very much, my brother Anil. Let me, even in her absence, recognize our distinguished and esteemed political leader of this great and glorious party, Sister the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We have in our midst this evening another sister who will be addressing you shortly. A fighter, a warrior, a soldier seeking justice, social progress for our nation and its people. I want us to recognize Sister, our Deputy Political Leader, Sister Julian John. Let us also recognize our brother who will also be addressing you, Senator Damian Leiter. Say it for Damian. And of course, my sister Marsha, as well as all other speakers who have gone. And the brothers and sisters, my colleagues and friends who are here tonight, here in Diego Martin, I say welcome to all of you, brothers and sisters. You know, it has been said that those who cannot remember the mistakes of the past are condemned to repeating them. As Anil will tell you over and over, elections have consequences. You make the wrong decision, you put the wrong person or party, and we suffer for 5 years. Elections have consequences. My brothers and sisters, if we elect charlatans, if we elect land grabbers, if we elect kleptocrats, and who's a kleptocrat? Kleptocrat? A kleptocrat is a thief. If you elect thieves to office, if you elect chronic and pathological liars, jokers, carpetbaggers, we run the serious risk of losing all that we have and more, as we are witnessing today. Whatever we would have gained, whatever advances we would have realized and recorded, today we are seeing all those gains being thrown back, being taken away, being removed. Brothers and sisters, I want you who are here this evening to never forget where we came from. That is why I said, those who forget the mistakes of the past are doomed to repeating them. Never forget where we came from. 2010 to 2015 was a glorious period. It was a golden age period in our history as a nation. Under our leader, our distinguished leader, one of the best prime ministers, even though the best prime minister, in this country, created 56,000 jobs. And were we given an opportunity in 2015, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the PP led by the UNC was going to create another 100,000 jobs for the citizens of this country. What PNM could not done in 15 years, we did in 5 years. We settled 135 collective agreements valued at over $4.5 billion, affecting hundreds of thousands of workers and their families, improving their quality of life and standard of living. We did that, you did that, we did that. Every child attending a secondary school was given a laptop. Close to 100 laptops were given by our government, led by our great leader. This crazy bald head, this man who has appeared here from nowhere, he said he come from Mason Hall, and he end up in Whitehall. No laptop for you. No laptop for our children. Brothers and sisters, don't ever forget these things. Remember, Kamala removed VAT on over 7,000 food items in this country. Don't you ever forget that. And brothers and sisters, one of the things I want to deal with tonight, the main area I want to focus on tonight, that you need to pay attention to because it's very serious, was our government, your government, led by our leader, our Prime Minister, Sister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, was in office, was in power. Brothers and sisters, from 2010 when we arrived, right until in September when we left, we subsidize gasoline, dieseline, we subsidize kerosene, we subsidize regular gasoline in this country. You know at what rate? At what price? $20 billion for 5 years. Our leader and our government subsidize fuel for those years. Brothers and sisters, never ever forget that. But you have to understand that as soon as this crazy man, the PNM, arrived on the scene, what did he do? What did he do, brothers and sisters? Rowley increased the price of gasoline as he came on the scene in October. We met it at $150 per liter when we came in 2010. We left it at $1.50 per liter in September of 2015. Brothers and sisters, as Rowley arrived on our compound, he immediately increased diesel from $150 to $172 per liter. And then come April, that was in 2015, October, the man now come. He presented the first budget. Licks, punishment. Brothers and sisters, within a few months, in April, 4-5 months later, he gone from $1.72 per liter to, you know where? $1.98. That is in April. You ain't breathe properly. In September, he gone from $1.98, that was in September 2016, from $1.98 to $2.30 per liter. The man not satisfied with punishing us. So come October 2017, he gone from $2.30 to $3.41 per liter. And brothers and sisters, today, April the 19th, midnight, April the 19th, the man gone from $3.41 to $3.91. So he came at $150. We left. We met when we came in 2010, $150. Never increase diesel for poor people. That man came on the scene, and within hours, licks, punishment. Today, we are paying what? $3.91 for fuel. Brothers and sisters, it didn't stop there. When we came, super gasoline, 99% of the people who drive cars in this country, they use super. You know that. 5 years, UNC. 5 years, People's Partnership. 5 years, Kamla. You know what? We met super at $2.70 per liter. I want to repeat, $2.70. Before he could breathe, he gone to 311, Rowley. Moved from $2.70 per liter to 311. Then he gone from 311 to $3.58. No breathing demand. Rowley and the PNM hate poor people. They hate ordinary people. They hate black people. He gone from 358 down, 358, and he gone to 397 per liter. Then he gone from 397 per liter to 497 per liter. All that in a few years, you know. And then, brothers and sisters, from 497, April the 19th, midnight, change the pump. You and I who drive car, and we are using super, it gone to what? $5.97 per liter. Brothers and sisters, when we were there, we use the monies to share the wealth. Whatever revenues that we gained, we give it back to the poor, to the ordinary people, because the oil and the gas belong to you and me and your family and your children. So we give it back with lower prices. So you know what happened? We subsidized for 5 years using $20 billion to keep down the cost of living, to make sure your quality of life was not disrupted. Rowley has disrupted our way of life. He has disrupted our quality of life. He has lowered our standard of living. I say, brothers and sisters, in Diego Martin tonight, we must disrupt Rowley life. And we are not talking about the bullet. We are talking about the ballot.
Yes, ma'am.
We are going to use this index finger and disrupt the PNM whenever they call the blasted local general elections in this country. And whenever they call the general election, we say, get thee, Satan. Brothers and sisters, I want to give you two small examples to drive home this point. Many of us would know about the TIDA, the wet man. The wet man. You know somebody who have a TIDA in 2015 when we were in office, before we left. They were paying what? You could have full your TIDA and pay only $140 and $40, and your TIDA full, 52 liters, and you're gone. Under Rowley, today, that same TIDA, $310, as $170 increase, or 121% increase between 2015 And now, I want to give you a next example. Big Maxi Taxi, Mitsubishi, Rosa, 29-seater, 100-liter tank capacity under Kamla. Under Kamla, a Maxi Taxi driver driving a Rosa, 100-liter tank capacity, could fill up his tank for $150. $150. Brothers and sisters, today, that same Rosa costing the Maxi Taxi driver and owner $391 or close to $400. A 161% increase. This is a criminal decision taken by the government. And you know why? The Dwen from Maraval, the midget from Maraval. This man say he cannot find $2 billion to subsidize gas, super and diesel. So you know what? You have to pay and we have to pay. You could imagine that criminal increase kerosene from $1.50 per liter to $3.50 per liter for ordinary people. And this man and his government says they love black people and they love poor people. Why would you do that? Brothers and sisters, these are examples. But I want to tell you something very serious here tonight. They can't subsidize you. They can't subsidize me. They can't subsidize we. Brothers and sisters, I ain't telling tales out of school, you know. I have invoices here. I have performer invoices in my possession where in April of 2020, when they were punishing us, they were subsidizing Venezuela. They imported from Italy a plant in Italy called Augusta. 150,000 barrels of gasoline. It arrived in Trinidad. They put them in the storage tanks at Paria. You know how much we paid for 1 barrel of fuel premium out of Italy? We the taxpayers, $39.87. We re-exported that to a company called ES Euro Shipping, a company owned by a fellow called Wilmer Riperti. He and Modoro in bed. They just go to bed together.
And Rowley.
And you know what? They were able to sell that oil, that gas, that they paid $39.87 for $38.50. Let me tell you something. We end up losing as a country close to $344,000 US on that shipment. So you could subsidize Maduro because the gas went to Venezuela. But you can't subsidize we. Brothers and sisters, we are saying to you tonight, before I close, we are saying to you tonight, in the month of January, I want to tell you, And Anil, I want to tell Anil too. We imported premium gasoline, 62 million liters of premium gasoline. That is in the month of January of 2022. You know how much we use? Remember, you're using foreign exchange, US dollars that you can't get, and I can't get, and the micro, small businessman can't get. You can't finance your child if that child is going to a university in America because you have no US dollars. You know what them fellas doing? Them imported 62 million liters of premium gasoline. You know how much we used on? 10 million. The question that we have to ask Rowley and Imbert and Stuart Young, where the next 52 million liters of premium gasoline has gone. In the month of January, we imported 114 million liters of diesel. Anil, we utilize only 80 million liters gone. And Trinidad and Tobago does not know where it gone, who it gone to, how much we getting for it. We want Rowley to tell this country if he is breaching US sanctions by exporting our diesel and our premium to Venezuela. That is what we want tonight from him. And the last thing I want to leave with you tonight, kerosene. Anil, we are importing every month. In January of 2022, we imported 38 million liters of kerosene. You know how much we use? 9 million. Where the rest going? Rowley must answer. Stuart Young must answer. Imbert must answer. You see all of these things I just raised here? You know how much it costs us? Close to $1 billion TT that we could have used to subsidize you and me, but they're taking this. There's no evidence. We have no information. Everything is a secret order. It's a mafia gang that's running our country. We don't know what's going on. Brothers and sisters, let me close by telling you, this place under Rowley has enveloped into darkness. The only political force in this country that can shed, that can produce, that can provide rays of light, rays of sunlight to bring an end to this darkness is the United National Congress. It is the United National Congress. Long live the United National Congress. Long live Sister Kamla Prasad Bisasa. Long live the people of Diego Martin. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Make some noise for Senator, the Honorable Wade Mark. My wonderful, brilliant, strong, independent, ignorant mother, God rest her soul. One strong, short East Indian woman wearing sari every day. She would never accept disrespect of women like what is going on now under the PNM. Fitzgerald Hines, the Minister of National Security, says in the Parliament on Hansard that women who are brutally raped and abused by predators and vile men, that they are profiting from their victimhood, and therefore he and the PNM cannot catch rapists. If any woman votes for the PNM, you have to check yourself. You really do. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. I have two beautiful daughters, one older and one young. And I teach them to be stronger, brighter, talk more, be smarter, more successful, tougher, more diligent than the father ever could be. Because women are powerful, and that is not no joke. Any man who afraid woman, he's a mama pool, Rowley. He's a mama pool, Forrest. He's a mama pool, Ethelbert. All you have no shame. You have to give Jack the jacket and Jim the gym boots. Kamla Prasad Bisesa uplifts women. On this program here in Diego Martin, the final 2 out of 3 speakers are strong, powerful women. And you women know they have many things only to take from man. Because successful marriage mean that a strong woman put up with a worthless man. All men worthless, especially when they're younger. But when they get older, they get wise and they understand the pain and the hurt that they put in on their wife. So they cool themselves. But not Rowley. He making children at 65. That man sick. The man don't even know how to wrap it. He get COVID not through his eye and nose and mouth, you know. You know how that man get COVID? Bring him to the platform now. A woman who has been fighting for people since she was a teenager. Charity is her work. She loves human beings. A mother who puts her children and her family first and loves other children as she loves her own. A hardworking, brilliant, intelligent, fiery lady who will be the next representative for Diego Martin West when she put a cocktail on Rowley. Rowley had to go. Rowley had to go. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha Walker.
Rowley have to go. Diego Martin. Rowley have to go. Diego Martin. Rowley have to go. You have to go. Good evening to our honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. To my colleagues, our online audience, and to you, the people of Diego Martin. Yeah, yeah. When I first donned a political platform, it was right here in Diego Martin. In that speech, I spoke about the hurt I felt of having to live away from my family home. In fact, just recently, one of my supporters met the famous Auntie Jenny from my first speech. I lamented on the whole hotspot issue, wanting to raise my daughters in an area where the system wouldn't judge them just by their address. Today, that pain has only gotten worse. Today, I feel the pain of so many others. Persons selling off everything and migrating because they see no hope for Trinidad and Tobago under Rowley. Leaving their homes behind, many leaving their siblings, their parents, and some are even leaving their children. Today, I feel the pain of families who cannot migrate. I feel the pain of the children who cannot leave and find safe dwelling. Today, I feel the pain of Kevin Spring's mother. Kevin was supposed to sit SCA in March, but instead, he was shot and killed while washing cars for money. Kevin kept a dream book. He wanted out. He wanted better. But his life was snatched from him, not because he didn't choose wisely, but because he simply lived on the wrong street. Keith Christopher Rowley, Kevin lived on Cemetery Street. Kevin lived in your constituency. His name was Kevin. He never sat SCA, and you did not care. Do you care about the youths in Covine who have fallen into the hands of gangs because your government had no real plan for them during the pandemic? I guess you care about them as much as you cared about Semyon Daniel and Anthony Francois. Do you even know that last week the residents of Big Yard came together to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of little Naomi Nelson? Do you care about anything else other than money and power? To be honest, I am torn. I am torn because we had a choice. We, the people of Diego Martin, had an opportunity to do better, to see that we deserve better, and we missed it. So part of me wants to say like Sparrow, we like it so we get what we deserve. But the better side of me knows that much of what we think, or how we vote, or how we do not vote in the case of Diego Martin West is because of the psychological games played by the PNM from the very inception. Let me give you an example of how these people has get into our heads. I just mentioned several children, right, who've died under the PNM administration. Do you know what PNM trolls on social media will want to say? That I'm politicizing the death of children. Tonight, I want you to reject their mind games. I want you to understand that everything is political. Tonight, I want you to stand firm in your resolve that a government's role is to enforce policies that will keep our children safe. So if our children are showing up dead on every street corner, then it is political, because these deaths could have been prevented had Keith Christopher Rowley cared, had he had the political will to protect them. That is the nasty mindset, mind games of the PNM. They care more about staying in power than empowering our people through truth. So they twist our actions. They bully anyone who dares stand up against them and fight for the people. Don't fall for it, Diego Martin. You know what's another one of their mind games? Something called voter suppression. Do you know what voter suppression means? It means that you think your vote for Marsha Walker will not count because it's a PNM safe seat, so I wasted my time for lies. Tell them they lie. Let me tell you all why. 10,000 persons voted for Keith Christopher Rowley out of an electorate of 29,000 persons. This is not a PNM safe seat. This has never been and never will be a PNM safe seat. 17,000 people in Digo Martin West did not vote. This is a non-voting seat. It's not a PNM seat. It's a non-voting seat. Now that's the part of me that says, well, maybe we get what we deserve. Because it's not that you didn't have a choice. It is because, and I'm sorry to say it, you didn't care enough. You didn't care enough to dig past the propaganda. You didn't care enough to go past the headline. You did not care enough to understand that to our children, politics matter. You didn't care enough to see that UNC and PNM are not the same. You did not care enough to see that Kamla Persad-Bissessar is a far better human being and a leader than Keith Rowley could ever be. She will beat him in his sleep. United National Congress is not the same as PNM. And tonight, I will demonstrate to you why we are not the same. Last week, the nation was once again sent into mourning when a report was laid in Parliament outlining the horrific stories of abuse in our homes, in our children's homes. The report confirmed that many of these homes receive state funding, even though they are not licensed. That meant that these homes could not meet the criteria. It meant that the state knew that these homes could not meet the criteria to take care of our children, and the state continued to fund it. Listen, you know what that is? That is state-sanctioned rape. That is state-sanctioned child abuse. Here's what is worse. The office of the Prime Minister knew about the report. In fact, let me answer some of the lies he come and tell all you before we reach here today. He say, but we knew, and we didn't sit on it and then do nothing. Since March last year, his minister come and say, junior minister, because the children's ministry could never have a whole ministry for themselves, right? But we could go there just now. Since March last year, Ayanna Webster-Roy came and said, you know, I think something going on. As if UNC had not been telling you for the last 6 years, but she came and said, I think something going on since March last year. So from March 2021, you say, okay, let me commission a little task force, because you know it's always a task force, a task force, a task force. Then, in December, she received the report. But I don't know. You could tell me what you think it was. I have no idea if Rowley say, well, hey, what? We need to make up a story to figure out why nearly half of the homes in this country are unlicensed. Let me make up a story. It's either that, or he was too busy tasting Carnival, tasting Tobago, and tasting God knows what, who, and where else. And that is why we needed to wait until April of 2022 for the report to be laid in Parliament. They want to tell me politics don't matter? Do you know data suggests, local data, that between 10 and 14 children are abused daily in Trinidad, and that's just those that are reported. Y'all do the math and tell me how many children would have been abused in the 5 months that PNM, that Keith Rowley and Ayanna Webster-Roy sat on that report. How many of our children were lost in those 5 months? Don't tell me politics don't matter. Don't tell me don't make this political. The death of our children is very much political. It is in the hands The blood of those children are on your hands. They're on your hands, Keith Rowley. Your hands. You did not care enough. In fact, you cared so little that if we go back to when Keith Rowley was forming the cabinet, he forgot on the whole to appoint somebody to deal with children. Is when the media say, so what about the girl in Tobago? She don't get a ministry too? And he said, oh shucks, that was an oversight. And he quick, put her. He said, well, you go do something. Be minister of children, right? But junior minister, because I can't handle our whole ministry just for children. That is to tell you how much Keith Rowley cares about your children, Bagatelle. That's how much Keith Rowley cares about your children, Covine. That's how much Keith Rowley cares about your children, Big Yard. Don't tell me politics don't matter. Don't tell me that. On Tuesday, the country lost yet another baby. Another baby was lost, and we have more questions than answers. Who in this PNM government is fighting for our children? Well, let me tell you, who fighting for them? Let me tell you why Kamla Persad-Bissessar will never be the same as Keith Rowley. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, since the Basdio Pandey days, was fighting legislation. She fought for the package of legislation that would pave the way for the Children's Authority. And then when Manning sit on it, when he sit and he do nothing on it, it was Kamla Persad-Bissessar, when she became Prime Minister, she operationalized the legislation that gave way to the Children's Authority. And when Keith Rowley came into power, from day one they mash it up. They mash it up. They never give enough resources. They mash it up. Don't tell me that Kamla and Keith is the same. Don't tell me Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Keith Rowley is the same. Never. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has dedicated her entire life to fighting for the children of our nation. Tego Martin West, tonight I call on you to reject the lies. Oh, you know what's repetitive marketing? Repetitive marketing is when you see over and over, hey, you see that shoe? I like that shoe, you know. You see that shoe? I like that shoe, you know. You need that shoe. Go buy that shoe. You need that shoe. That is what PNM does do. PNM know that they will never see the halls of Parliament because they have no policy. So they need propaganda. They need lies. So they know, because everybody know how to be a tyrant. Netflix do a whole documentary, right? So you must tell a lie over and over and over until the people believe it to be truth. Tonight, Tego Martin West, I ask you, our children deserve your vote. Our children deserve for you to go past the propaganda, go past the headlines. Let me tell you something. I'm willing to talk to you. Tonight is my anniversary. Nobody know that, you know. You know why? Because the children of this nation, that is what we decided we was going to dedicate our life to do, to fight for the children of this nation. And that is why we chose to serve under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, because we knew that was where her heart was. To the 17,000 people in Tego Martin West, all you're hearing it, right? 10,000 vote for Rowley, 17,000 did not vote. This country could have been doing better. The whole country, not just Tego Martin West, because we voted in the Prime Minister. Had the 17,000 people cared enough about our children, they would have gone past the propaganda and they would have chosen performance and policy. They would not have voted based on race and religions and all kind of nonsense. My office number, I put in it big and bold because I'm reachable. Me and hiding from the people. I here to serve all you. 399-5561. Call me and let us talk.
Say it again.
399-5561. And I'll say it again. 399-5561. Call me. Let us talk, because our children deserve for you to get the information. Our children deserve for you to know the truth. Our children deserve for you to come out and vote. Come out and vote. Come out and vote. Rowley must go. Rowley must go. Good night, and I thank you.
After a presentation like that, I will take the reverse approach. I want you to stay quiet and think. 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 If you love children, if you are a coach or a teacher, and you do not love and spend time with your own children that you have fathered or mothered, can you be a good coach for other people's children? If you are not willing to take care of those that come from your loins, can you even grasp the concept of loving, caring, creating positive thought and putting it into policy and implementing policies to help other people's children? If you cannot even mind or spend quality time with your own, think about it carefully. Because Keith Christopher Rowley don't even mind he children that he make from he loins. He don't even claim them. It a twins day, he didn't see them, he ain't want to give them the proper protection that they deserve. So now think carefully. If Keith Rowley, who puts up social media and Instagram pictures of those inside, has a press conference and a prime minister and lie to you all. Well, no, sorry. He told the truth then. I get confused. It's not often he does tell the truth. He tell all you that he does only mind inside. But them outside that he make, he don't mind. How he gonna care about your child and baby grant and laptop and school and UTT, and they have a minister telling you, if you dare to dream about your child going to the University of California, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge, the University of Australia, or to do dance and music in London, that you are mad and you are insane because you have your TT money, you go by the bank, and because the PNM incompetent, you can't get US. Randall Mitchell and the PNM say you are a fool. And you all vote for a clown like Randall Mitchell to call you a fool. Lord help all my people in Trinidad and Tobago. Randall Mitchell, a man who could not even hold his seat, Brian Manning, take it. He couldn't hold his girl, Brian Manning, take it. He can't even keep his dog, Brian Manning, taking it. He couldn't even hold his portfolio, small pin, take it. And he come to tell you that y'all are fools and y'all say PNM and vote? Come on, my people. Something wrong. We have to stop. We have to reset. Could you imagine a report like that on our children, 307 pages, reaching the eyes of Kamla Persad-Bissessar? Within, and she could read very fast, very bright. She just goes, within the first 2 pages, she would have called immediately 7 different ministers, no matter what time the report was. Wake them up and tell them put action plan. She would have called the Minister of National Security, sending the police and army into every school. She would have told them put in CCTVs. She would have told them to fire whoever is there. Get new security. Get inside and protect my children one time. That's not a joke. But Rowley go tell you she drink rum. Well, if she loved children and she put money, billions of dollars from our children to live their dreams, let she drink rum. Because Rowley, if you don't drink rum, you sober and heartless. You're sober and disgusting. You're sober and you just lie. You're sober and you're wicked. You're sober and you're ugly. You're sober and you're honing your own ministers in your cabinet. So my advice to you, Rowley, if sober is not good for you, drink rum. A man.
Drink rum and mind your business.
Yes. Well, we want him out because, Lord, we put him to mind we business and all they doing is taking all your money. Think about, let me go on here because they go at me here talking too long. We have a big two speakers to come, Diego Martin and Trinidad and Tobago. The next speaker is a businessman, a man who has shown the entrepreneurial brilliance to take his businesses from Trinidad up the islands across the board, moving in small pieces to create a massive business. And he has not utilized his earnings for himself. He is a family man who loves his child and children, takes his care of his mother and his father, and by extension, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. In the United National Congress, all find a place. Every creed and race, every religion, everyone is welcome to unite under the banner of the rising sun. And here we have a son of the UNC, a senator who brings heat in the place and presents great solutions to our economic woes. Please welcome Senator, the Honorable Damian Ryder.
Diego Martin, let us hear it again from Marsha, Sister Marsha Walker. That was fire tonight. And of course our chairman and all of our other speakers here tonight. Let us hear it, Diego Martin. To our honorable political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamala Persad Bissessar. To all of my colleagues and my sister, my deputy political leader will follow me. We say to her, good night, Jolly John. Tonight, we say good night to the crowds that have come out in Diego Martin tonight. Give yourself a round of applause tonight. And for all the brothers and sisters and the UNC supporters looking on the virtual tonight, looking on YouTube tonight, good night at not such a good time. Brothers and sisters, you have come out in your numbers tonight in the region of Diego Martin. You, the UNC family, have come into the belly of the beast tonight to deal with Keith Rowley. The UNC has come into these three Diego Martins to deal with three PNM constituencies. And I say to you tonight, Keith Rowley is not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the little Dwen scrabbling across in Diego Martin Northeast. That is the Prime Minister, and let me tell you why. Because every resident of Diego Martin knows that Keith Christopher Rowley is an absent member of Parliament. He is an absent Prime Minister. And the only place in this region you could find him on any given day, don't look for him in the constituency office. Don't look for him in the Whitehall. You can find him in Diego Martin, you know. But in any one of the two golf courses in Caranage and the one in St. Andrews, you want to see him? Come to the golf course and line up to see him. Brothers and sisters, I want to send a message. Now we know he in the golf course. I want all you to help me send a message to Keith Rowley tonight. I am going to tell all you, Keith Rowley are fed up. I want to say that. All you repeat and say, we damn fed up. So let me hear it now. Keith Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. Brothers and sisters, the Diego Martin constituencies, all three of them, continue to be neglected. Your roads are falling apart. Wassa pipelines are busting through the length and breadth of this country, of this constituency. Wassa digging up road everywhere and paving it. The place flooding if you get a little drizzle. Or let's see that, a little drizzle and the place flood. The mountains in dry season, and we in dry season now catching fire. And no water in the fire truck to out it so your house go burn. And if you're living on the hill, well, you have no water at all. Brothers and sisters, children fighting in school. And every single constituent in the three Diego Martin constituencies know that the situation with the crime in this Diego Martin is completely out of control. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you, if you are fed up like I am of the crime, Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. When I was a child in Pity Valley, I used to be able to ride my bike anywhere. I used to go in the river and look for wabin. I could have swim in Blue Basin. And now, as a result of this government's failure with crime, and their inability to stop the scourge of robberies, home invasions, and the most heinous crimes in that of murder. Now, our children, our parents, and our grandparents are trapped in fear, in terror, and they're living behind bars like a prison in their homes in Diego Martin today. Shame. Brothers and sisters, you only have to look on the papers on the 6th, all 3 newspapers, and look at the headline. Killing rampage in the Guardian. Newsday, stupidity killers. And then in the Express, blazing guns. Brothers and sisters, that is the state. And guess what? The feature murder on the day was right here in Diego Martin. That was the feature murder of the day. Brothers and sisters, last week on Friday the 6th, we hit 193 murders in just 125 days. Brothers and sisters, do you know where we are today? We are at 203 murders in 132 days. And the most recent murder is the lady 52 years old in Blue Basin, right here in Diego Martin. That is what made number 203 today. And this is a PNM constituency. Shame. This is a PNM heartland. But how can you be surprised when your Prime Minister, your Member of Parliament of Diego Martin West, who is responsible for appointing the worst Minister of National Security in this country's history, this Fitzgerald et Albert Sleepy Hines. Brothers and sisters, I could tell the Prime Minister something tonight. You are the head of the National Security Council, so you can't blame Kamala for the murders in this Diego Martin. You cannot blame the UNC for the murders in Diego Martin. And you really can't come and blame COVID for the murders in Diego Martin. Brothers and sisters, the blame falls squarely on the shoulders of this draconian dictator called Keith Christopher Rowley. So brothers and sisters, I say to you again today, Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. Brothers and sisters, and to add insult to injury, the Prime Minister foisted on this nation the most failed politician and minister, Fitzgerald et Albert Sleepy Man Hines. But let me take a little look at Hines now. I want to remind Diego Martin, between 2010 and 2015, under the leadership of Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the UNC, we saw serious crimes and murders drop to the lowest in over a decade. We saw us reach to a point where we were just over 300 murders. But that was before Sleepy Man Hines come into charge. When Hines come into office, and under the leadership of Gary Griffith at the time, we saw a decline in murders by 150 in 2020. We saw a decline in serious crimes, rapes, robberies. All of these were in decline in 2020. And into 2021, in the first 7 months, we saw 50 less murders versus the first 7 months of 2020. Under Gary Griffith, they were heading towards just over 300 murders. He's a Diego Martin resident, by the way. Brothers and sisters, and then Sleepy Man came into the mix. Sleepy Man Hines come into office. What happened next under this government? We witnessed the greatest constitutional crisis in our history. When we saw the collapse of the Police Service Commission, we saw the political interference into the independent process. And in 5 months, we saw a crisis and saw more murders and saw the highest spike of murders and crime in the history of our country. For this year, in the middle of May, we now at 203, as I told you, murders in 132 days. And we are on a track record to break the record and get to 600 murders now. That is the reality of the situation. Brothers and sisters, last year the murder rate was 124 at this time. So what that means, when Hines tried to fool you, I'm telling you, it's a 64% increase in murders. Numbers don't lie, brothers and sisters. So while you remove a performing commissioner of police, your Sleepy Man Hines is overseeing a total collapse in the structure of national security. We see the Air Guard without operating helicopters. We see the Coast Guard without fuel, leaving our borders porous. A fire service with defective equipment, resulting in loss of lives and property. And a TTPS totally underfunded and lack of resources to enable hard-working police officers to do the most basic duties. They don't even have a car to come and drive to meet at you. Their phone bill not even being paid. What do you expect when you have a Minister of National Security, Hines, who said on record that he is not responsible for the safety and security of the citizens of this nation? What do you expect when you have a sleepy man, Hines, who falls asleep in his van and knock down and kill a dog? Oh God, poor Mali boy, oh God. Oh, let's say a prayer for Mali tonight now. What do you expect when the sleepy minister is in a press conference and fall asleep on himself? You may remind you, he was going blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That is your Minister of National Security. Brothers and sisters, we have a minister who does not even come to the Senate to answer questions because he's home sleeping. And when he comes, he don't even know the questions he have to answer. His colleagues in the cabinet have to answer for him. It is this Minister of National Security who does not understand the difference between the role of a minister and that of a politician. Brothers and sisters, you all remember when he sat down in between a commissioner of police and a commissioner of prisons who were independent officers, independent in the state. And when he was questioned about the beating they got in Tobago when PNM was exiled from Tobago, he stand up in the middle of a police commissioner and a commissioner of prisons saying, don't worry, the PNM will come back. We will get back Tobago. They'll come back to us. Political rhetoric. Brothers and sisters, and then, here we get it serious here now. Then on Tuesday of this week, when the Commissioner of Prisons was asked about the grabbers and jammers at the prison to block cell phone calls, preventing them from calling outside, imagine the minister and this government has been keeping the Commissioner of Prisons in the dark about the equipment in the prisons. Brothers and sisters, just like they have been keeping the citizens of this country, the protective services, and all of those PNM political opponents in the dark, they're keeping us in the dark and spying on us. This secret surveillance equipment that under the SSA now, that is being controlled by the political arm of the state. Brothers and sisters, they can have the ability to spy on you, eavesdrop on you, listening to your calls. All of y'all in Diego Martin, they can listen to your calls. I say to you tonight, brothers and sisters, this is fascism. This is tyranny. This is a government who has become a draconian dictatorship. And the PNM must now go, brothers and sisters. They must now go. Tonight, brothers and sisters, the Minister of National Security must tell the nation about the allegations made by the ex-commissioner Gary Griffith that a senior minister was trying to instruct him to appoint a constable to head up a Gestapo spying unit in the TTPS, and the commissioner refused it. Was that you, Minister Hines? Were you the minister that Captain Griffith was talking about? We, the country, wants to know. Diego Martin wants to know, are you the minister? Brothers and sisters, if this is true, then Hines must go. Hines must leave and must not be the Minister of National Security. Brothers and sisters, and then yesterday, Minister Hines comes to this country and tells this country that when he was the Minister of Works and Transport between 2015 and 2020, that he was given a bribe, or was attempted to give a bribe of a $78,000 watch. And he said, on the media, I run the man and I call my Prime Minister immediately to give him the details. So I ask you another question tonight, Sleepy Man Hines. I ask you, did you, Minister Hines, or did your Prime Minister make a police report on this attempted bribery? Because, brothers and sisters, bribery is illegal in this country. If you are so ethical, Minister Hines, and if you are the bastion of goodwill in Ministry of National Security, did you make a police report. The people of this country want to know, who is that person who gave you the bribe? Who's the contractor who gave you the bribe? Does Diego Martin want to know who they are? Who is the contractor? And we want to know if that contractor is getting any business under this government today. So he must answer that. Brothers and sisters, in the end, it is the Prime Minister of this country, Christopher Rowley, who is ultimately responsible for the crime scourge in this country. We must never forget that Keith Rowley said when he was the opposition leader in 2012, we must never forget his quote, and I quote, "If the government can't deal with crime, then the government itself is part of the problem." And secondly, we must never forget, in April 2013, when he was the opposition leader, he quoted, "Any time a government resorts to blaming the opposition for its failure to deliver on their mandate and their responsibility to the people, it is a clear sign that they have accepted that they have outlived their usefulness." So I say to you tonight, Keith Rowley and the PNM has outlived their usefulness. They must go. The PNM must go. Brothers and sisters, I must move along quickly. Now, bring it down, bring it down. Bring it down. Now, brothers and sisters, we in Diego Martin, so we can't leave out the Dwen tonight. We can't leave out the Dwen of Diego Martin Northeast. In fact, if you look up in the mountain, you will see the Dwen running around in the forest right now with his foot backward like that and a big hat over his head. He watching us. He's spying on us. Blaze him now. So let me deal with him real quick. We must deal with the Minister of Finance who has crushed this economy. The Diego Martin MP has governed over the worst recession and depression in this country since 1980s. The Diego Martin MP has governed over a decline in our economy by over 16%, a decline in over $28 billion in GDP. The minister, with no clue how to diversify this economy outside of oil and gas, who instead he chooses to inflict pain on his citizens by increasing every single possible tax that he can increase. Brothers and sisters, he has increased the business levy by 200%. He has increased the green fund by 200%. Kamla Prasad Bisesa removed over 7,000 food items from VAT, and he came back and put them all on, almost all. He increased tax for the small and medium businesses by increasing corporate tax from 25 to 30%. And he has introduced online tax. He ranting so bad he even put tax on tires, boy. This man heartless. And now, brothers and sisters, he is coming to this nation to tell you he's coming with the dreaded property tax to suffer you all further and put you all into more hardship. Brothers and sisters, this heartless, cold-blooded Dwen that raised fuel prices not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, sat down amongst the elite like a king on a throne and laughed at you all. Laughed at you all and tell all you ain't riot yet. Well, I tell you something. Local government election is coming, and as Senator Mark said, we're going to riot, but with our finger. We are going to riot with our finger when local government elections come and move this PNM out of Diego Martin. Move them out of Diego Martin. Brothers and sisters, I touch on one last thing. When the minister can find no other way to tax you and bring in revenues, what does he do? He dips into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, your money. Under this minister, he has depleted the Heritage and Stabilization Fund by $17 billion. Kamla Prasad Bisesa added $17.5 billion to the HSF when we were in power. And this minister has now taken $17 billion of your savings for their friends, their family, and their financiers. But before I close, I must remind the people of Diego Martin about some of the great things that Kamla Prasad Bisesa did for Diego Martin when she was the Prime Minister. We must never forget the primary school and the high school that was built up in Paramin when children for years under the Dwen was taking rain under a shed. We must never forget that. We must never forget about the highway expansion project in Diego Martin that alleviated hours of traffic of the citizens so we could be home with our families sooner. We must never forget that. We must never forget about the Digger Martin Health Center in Carenage and the schools she opened in Carenage. We must never forget about Nedco small business incubators to help the small business. Constant water in our pipes. Sporting grounds lit by this fella here who was the Minister of Sport at that time. The vast development of Shagaramas, which includes the boardwalk where we can all enjoy today. And the expansion of the intake of the hotel school, which has now been shut down by this wicked Keith Rowley.
Wicked.
This and many more projects were delivered by an unbiased and caring Prime Minister and leader of the UNC. And it was the PNM constituencies when she was in office. She gave to the PNM constituencies. She didn't victimize and exclude the people of Digger Martin just because these were PNM constituencies, in the way in which this PNM has been victimizing the UNC constituencies, where there are schools that have been built up to 95% and they are left to rot and deplete. That is what this PNM did. So as I close, brothers and sisters, I ask the people of Digger Martin tonight, what has the PNM done for the people in Digger Martin in the last 7 years? What have they done? What has the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, who holds the purse string, done to uplift these constituencies, with infrastructure falling apart, with mass unemployment, and with crime running completely out of control? It is clear and it is evident that the PNM has betrayed the people of Digger Martin. They have suffered the very same people who voted them into office. We must never forget that when we go to the polls. So, brothers and sisters, let us come together. Let us unite against this dictatorship. Let us shout at the top of our voices and in one unison. And let us send a clear message to the Prime Minister, the MP of Digger Martin West, and say to him, Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. Rowley, we are fed up. We are damn fed up. I thank you.
Breaking news. In Cocoreet near West Shore, 26 minutes ago, there was a shootout. 1 person killed, 2 wounded in the open, with families going home, children going in cars, parents driving home. Another shootout in Digger Martin, 1 dead, 2 wounded. Elections have consequences, and we need to stop and think seriously. We have to stop the nonsense. We cannot go on like this. You cannot fight crime just by more police and locking up. Crime is fought by every single ministry, the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Education, Sport, the Ministry of Science and Tertiary. You have to provide avenues and opportunities for our children to thrive. You have to educate parents. You have to give incentives. You have to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to take a piece of the pie in Trinidad and Tobago. When the PNM is in power, crime skyrockets. The world record for murders is held by Martin Joseph 2008 with 558 murders. The silver and bronze medal are held by Stuart Smallpin, CNN Quest, Lion Young, 519 and 538. And I can safely say the way the projections are going with no hope, no policies and games being played, that we are in for some dark times as the Lekoto Jambi is coming to claim his reward from the nefarious acts and pledges made by Keith Christopher Rowley. The blood flows all over Trinidad and Tobago. This cannot be normal. We need all people of faith and spiritual people to pray and sing praises for our nation, to fight the evil and tell, move Satan, get out we way. The final speaker is a woman from Tobago who made her way to Trinidad and has excelled through brilliance, intelligence, discipline, stick-to-itiveness, hard work, care, passion, and attention for detail like none other. One of the hardest working human beings I've ever seen. A woman who cares about people, cares about mothers, loves children, a family woman, a woman who has made a way in the world of business, breaking glass ceilings, and she's the most sought after CEO with dreams and vision for Trinidad and Tobago that would make the princes of Dubai shudder. Please welcome a woman in whom we can all be proud, a deputy political leader, a sitting senator of the United National Congress. Welcome the Honorable Jolene John.
Thank you for the warm greeting. I knew you were waiting, and you were waiting for me. Thank you so much, Diego Martin. Good evening to our honorable leader of the opposition, soon to be Prime Minister. Night does run, but day will catch it. Honorable Chairman, my senatorial colleague, brilliant, the very brilliant Anil Roberts. My other senatorial colleague, Senator Damian Lyda. You hear why I have to bring it down? Because if I take on these people, Lyda and Marsha and Anil and Zakuranzi, I'll burst my blood vessel. I don't intend to do that. But I'm telling you, tonight is a good night, Indigo. It's a good night of politics. I really want to congratulate and compliment all of the speakers who went before me. And that is testimony to our political leader who gives everybody a chance. And because of that, we have nurtured this breadth and depth of talent and skill and boldness and bravery and just brilliance. Thank you all so much. This is the new crop of UNC, those who are going to inherit the party. Our Jensek is here, former Senator Tahaka is here, and so many others. I really want to thank you for coming. And Diego Martin, you know, Diego Martin, UNC means business, just as Quest means business. That Stuart Young found himself on. That's Richard Quest, who he interviews global CEOs and global finance ministers, people such as former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, you know, former Prime Minister of the Czech Republic, big names in banking when you said Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan Chase. Well, I know my friend Lyda will know about that fella. Run one of the biggest banks in the world. These are movers and shakers. You know, a woman like Christine Lagarde, who headed the IMF and now is the president of the European Central Bank. These are the people who go on Quest, means business. How Stuart Young? How they go down so low to find Stuart Young? Low! To find Stuart Young. They had to limbo to find Stuart Young. God alone knows. A man with no body of work. A man with no experience, with nothing. The only thing he knows is how to carry Rowley's bags and Rowley's secrets. That is only claim, his only claim to fame. His only experience that he has is how to recuse himself multiple times out of a cabinet. Don't know if there's any correlation, but it is alleged. I am no court clothes like Gianty. I wear plenty black, but only because I feel I was so cute in it. You understand? So it is alleged, that his brother, who when young, came into the good fortune of high office, was running something like a Susuhan. And suddenly, I don't know if they feel it with Russia, you know, that's probably before your time, but there was something called Russianese. People used to run and eat it, and they used to get big and fat, or the Russian eat used to get big and fat, or maybe super grow. But something about him being in the good books of Rowley, this business just moved miraculously from this Susuhan to Merchant Bank. Now, of course, Quest should talk to him then, because cryptocurrency. So yesterday, the currency of high finance in Trinidad and Tobago is a cabinet position, and the instrument of exchange is a recusal. Because when they run out, a deal goes down, because they get by with a little help from their friends sitting in cabinet. And in typical young fashion, the truth does not matter. Reality does not matter. The same way he treats the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, with disdain, with contempt, and bellows his habitual lies and stupidity. He went on CNN, coursing a role, looking stupid, and taking down the whole of Trinidad and Tobago with him. As a matter of fact, at the end of it, Richard Quest said, well, I did not. Every day you learn new things. He must learn new things, because Stuart Young making it up as he went along. Ain't know nothing about nothing. But on big CNN, talking stupidness. And today, the editor of the Business Guardian, a man who in the history of this country is written, we must say is fearless. I mean, he has hit UNCs at times. But this fella has stood in the gap when many people are cowering and hiding and holding on to their bag because they don't care what happened to Trinidad, you know. If Trinidad burned down, they're hiding in the ashes for all the wrong reasons. So there, you find Curtis Williams now. Said he looked at this interview with Mr. Stuart Young and he called it in today's Guardian, we must speak the truth, even if it is inconvenient. Can you imagine a reporter had to write that? He said he, like many others, looked at this interview, and the Curtis Williams said, to his shock and horror, those were his words. Have you ever seen a reporter writing that in terms of a commentary, a review after someone would have spoken or appeared somewhere? He said his shock and horror. The minister sought to give the impression that Trinidad and Tobago is in a position to help Russia, because, well, not Russia, the other EU countries, because what they are probably planning is to cut off the supply they are buying from Russia, but they are looking for new supplies. And Stuart Young, the teller of new tales, of tall tales, said, well, you know, we could stand in the gap. We are there. We big in the dance. We know what we are doing. And when you look at his language, you know, just nonsense. You know, and you tell yourself, this fella had to have played with his imaginary friend when he was growing up. It must have been, you know, because anybody, you even have to have sense, just with a little Wi-Fi, a little juice, could just go and Google Trinidad and Tobago and know that Stuart Young and Rowley has destroyed this place. Anybody knows that. Anybody knows that. You understand? So he talk about much train of LNG we have, forgetting conveniently that we have 4. That 1 is gone, mothball, 2 and 3 are them own, and 4 they just have a little thing in it, and they barely could get gas into it. But he's there talking about that. So you see, the Minister of Energy and everything else has spent so much time, this is Curtis Williams, and Energy trying to create an alternative reality of the Train 1 debacle. And Curtis Williams went on to talk about how this fella is just so deluded, crazy out of his damn mind. You know, so the minister must know, he said, that Trinidad and Tobago has no share in trains 2 and 3 and has no cargo to sell those trains. Yet this fella go and sit down on Quest Mean business and told those lies. And these are lies that he tells to Trinidad every single day. Since that fella came into office, all he does is talk stupidness and tell lies because he follows his leader, the world's biggest liar, the one who was there talking to me. You know? So Mr. Williams and the Guardian shouldn't be surprised, because I'm not, and neither should you be, because those are the people who have been running the country for the past 7 years with lies, deceit, and dishonesty. Young now realizing that he was caught in a web of his own lies, He went now and he issued a press release today. And he said, well, you know, what I said was not what I said. And what I said was not what I meant. Because what I said was really accurate. Because it meant that in the event that, you know, we maybe have some capacity. Because you see, what is happening here? He has no apology, because that is how they roll. Caught in his web of lies, he tells another lies, saying in effect, what I said was not what I meant. Actually, what I meant is woulda, coulda, shoulda happen. After all, we are currently conducting, because again, they go with the confidentiality negotiation. Because everything for them is a big secret. They cannot tell us. They spend our money, but they cannot tell us about what they are doing. So for me, Young now has transformed himself from a national liar to a global Obia man, because he's seeing. He's seeing, we're coming, right? He's seeing what we can't see. He have eyes of clairvoyance, only he could see, and he is there wetting Quest with stupidness. You understand? So the Trinidad and Tobago, that is what we voted for. President A.N.I. Robinson, on one of the times when we were not so happy, he told us habits grow in slow degrees, streams into rivers, into seas. So Stuart Young line didn't start there. It started from the day he found himself in high office and did what he had to do. Find out that he was in a cabinet with the most impossible thing, had achieved the impossible, that he in a cabinet with people more dunce than he. So Stuart Young, an ambulance chaser, nobody have work, nothing to show for whatever the life he has lived, nothing. All he knew is how to, Anil says, you know, how you do with the K-Pax, which is really not good political language tonight. But that is Stuart Young. We have to call it what it is. Because that fella, I'm telling you personally, he went into the parliament at one time to tell you just tell little lies, he tell big lies, he lie when he don't even have to lie. We were in 2018 or out thereabouts campaigning for a by-election in Belmont East. And I was there, Senator Mark was there, I mean, because he's the dragon, you know, he walks the trail all the time. And because Stuart Young is their representative, I mean, I live in Stuart Young's constituency in St. Anne's, it is the worst. All St. Anne's has had, I've lived there for 22 years, is PNM MPs. But in all the PNM MPs, the 5 or so that passed, Stuart Young is the worst by far. By far. So you're there in Belmont, and the roads are shabby. So I put on my goloshes, and these are shoes I bought from Amazon for $20. I mean, I can't help myself if I just look fancy in a $20 rubber boots, you know. Yeah, that's where I from, we are swagger. You understand? Yeah, you wouldn't understand, you know. So I put on, but you remember, that man went into the parliament and lied and said Jillian John was wearing a Gucci boots. Now there are two things in that. Don't laugh, you know. But not only that, you see, it was a bold-faced lie. It was a bold-faced lie. But the inference you have to look at. Because Stuart Young feel a black picky-eyed girl from Charville have no business in Gucci boots. You know? Because all the Gucci boots is to he and his friend. And he does look like Puss in Boots. It doesn't matter what Gucci he put on. He never look tidy. Always look greasy and dirty. So he jealous that I'm at $20 Amazon boots look so fine. You understand? Out of place. I too black for that. Because for Stuart Young, when he was Minister of National Security, never forget Digo Martin, never forget Covine Road. Stuart Young said that black boys are pests and they are cockroaches and they are to be wiped out with one shot and one kill. That was their policy. That was their policy. That they don't come around me with their foolishness. You're only talking a today. These people want to drive you mad because they are wrong. What they have done to this country is wrong. We have politics and we have adversarial politics, but we don't have to be so disrespectful and liar. I don't know what is this fascination he has with the our leader's 90. What he has with man night gong that he can't catch himself. You are there in a press conference. People are here from you for so long. You vex your man, say you are pip. When you told her she had pip, she didn't say anything. She took it. The media had it front page. No, you so offended. What is wrong with this man? And then he's acting, Trinidad is a violent society. Me and how it gets so. We want to call a public health emergency. You know why it gets so? Because of him. The country has taken on the DNA of the leader. These guys, and every time you have to talk, you can't talk about how she face nice. You can't talk about how she brilliant. You always on her 90. What is your fixation with her 90? So therefore, what do you expect the young men of this country to do? They are following the leader. The violence, the callousness, the brutishness. They are now under cameras. You are seeing them and they are shooting people and killing them, and when you're dead you don't come back. What breeds that level of hate and contempt for each other? That is because the leader is contemptuous. That is because the leader is hateful. That is because the leader, nothing good comes out of that leader's mouth. So when I see this man talking and say about don't see her children, and I don't know when they get it, why they getting laptop, that is not good for them. And he was able to convince black people that laptop is good for them, so he's a good marketing man. Can you imagine that? You during the COVID, you have to give your child a phone to kind of try to hold on. And that's a few people, because sometimes you don't have your data or what have you. And he was able to convince people that laptop's not good for them. What Kamla did was abhorrent. And it was a nest for corruption. You know why? Because all his friends and family, they have laptops and they are moving ahead, because his policy is the rich must get richer and the poor must get poorer, and that's what it is. That is what is causing the crime. What is causing the crime is Keith Christopher Rowley's policy. The poor have decided we have to eat. And I saw today where he sent out some kind of digital ad, and said on the 20th he has some kind of job fair. And I'm telling every man, woman and child who have lost your job, who get fired, who because of Keith Christopher Rowley's policy, you're not eating, find your way to this job fair and meet the Prime Minister and say, I represent what you have produced. He has nothing to show for the 7 years he's bragging he's been in office. Not one thing, but 120,000 jobless people. Up to now, today, even as we are talking today, 3 women died. 3 women died today. One right here in Diego Martin somewhere. Some man just pick up a stone and hit this woman. What is going on? Pick up a stone, hit this woman and kill her. Just like that today. Now we are hearing about, I think 3 died somewhere down at West Shores here. People are just killing people as if it's a joke, like if it's a sport. And he's scratching his head and wondering, when did we get to this? We are violent. We are violent, sir, because you are violent. Your words breed violence. You need to take it down and act like a man. Grow up. You will recall. I too am a coordinator, just as my colleagues here. But I'm a coordinator for La Hoquita Talparo. And whilst I was up there, he came in as usual. He has nothing good. Nothing good comes out of that man's mouth. I don't know that a whole human being could be alive and inside of them so poisoned. I don't know. He is a force of nature. Because this fella says nothing good. At no time. You are seeing people struggling. We are in opposition. But we did not allow it to pass overhead. I went to the great Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who always has empathy for everybody. She said, let's try a little program. And you all would know we started this project, Hope with Agriculture, and little sports and so on. Young men said, we never knew we liked agriculture. Mr. Man ran up to La Hoquita. And what did he say? He said, Jolene John up here digging up all of your backyard and doing pak choy politics. And I go give all your land in Heights of a Repo. Again, the great conman, Sharpeye Washington Reach. What did they do? They vote for him. They're still waiting for the land. They're still waiting for it. Because of course, and I think somebody said tonight, Keith Christopher Rowley don't like black people. He likes nobody. So it doesn't matter to him that they have nothing to do. They have no jobs. What are they left to do? The devil will find work for idle hands. And now you're scratching your head and wondering, why? Why me picking up a few laptops? Now you realize that little children need laptops. Now you realize that. Now you realize people need jobs. You know why you realize that? Because you realize that Trinidad has turned. Trinidad has turned the corner. And if an election is called tomorrow, the after, or in 2025, Keith Christopher Rowley will be gone. Will be gone. No one will remember him. You know? Today, instead of telling us why they are killing women, why they are killing children, They're not only satisfied they kill you today, they go kill your mother tomorrow. They kill a woman, they kill her 12-year-old son. This little boy wanted to go to, I think, his presentation college. They say he was bright, he would have done it. He will never know if he passed. 12 years. How these things not affecting you? And before you go and talk about that, you talking about a man who business better than all of us, because all he could find himself to do, allegedly, based on a special branch report, is any piece of land you see, he just put in, he like Christopher Columbus, this land is my land. He like Christopher Columbus, this land was your land. You know, it's Christopher. So he come now, this land was your land, but now this land is my land. And you going to defend that? You are defending that. And to defend that, this guy is so disgusting. To defend it, what does he do? He disparaged one of the most elite sections in the police service. He don't care who he destroy. These are the people responsible for his safety and security. He don't care about that. As long as he could cover up corruption, sit down on it. Say what you're seeing is not what you're seeing. My people hand clean, everybody hand clean. Right? This man ain't grabbing nothing. I know what I grabbing. And he ain't grabbing nothing. But Rowley has never hidden who he is. And Maya Allen Judu told us, when somebody show you who they are, believe them when? The first time. But we keep going back. We are gotten for punishments. So he does not care what his cabinet does. And if they are caught, he will rubbish and vilify everybody to protect the members or his friends today. Today, it is Special Brand's turn, who he dismissed as simply of no consequence. Said it depends on who write the report and what is their motivation. So he threw them in the mud, he care about them. Right? All them care about is who leaked the report. All of them, from captain to cook, who leaked this report. Do you know, I don't know if all they follow international news, I think it was last week. A report was leaked from the Supreme Court in the United States of America in Washington. And you know what happened? American citizens marching up and down in front of the U.S. Chief Justice House. They may want to know how it leaked. They just know that they got the information. Here they are busy wondering how it leaked. So who the PNM say is guilty, guilty? Who they said innocent, innocent? The accuser, judge and jury who use all of their energies in the protection of the Costa Nostra. All they do is protect each other and keep each other secret. So you know, there are some people in Russia called oligarchs. They didn't care how the country was run. Now they can't even call a war a war. They're seeing images of their own soldiers raping 12-year-old girls and they can't talk about that. You know why? Because they were getting something. Now they can't travel anywhere. They can't use their credit card. They have some big yachts, big, massive yachts, cost hundreds of millions of US dollars. They're trying to hide them. If they find you, they hide the yacht behind you. They're so desperate because their assets are being seized all over the world. And people feel this can't happen here. Many of the people who are now wringing their hands are Rowley's enablers. They had calculated that the murders and mayhem was towards Lavantil and Sealot and Beetham and Maloney. But Digo Martin, if a child cannot do his homework in peace in Lavantil because only shots busting in the head, you have no peace in Digo Martin. You have none in Digo Martin. You recall not too long ago, the government supported a narrative, as I said before, that described black youths as pests and cockroaches. No school, no additional training, no to sports, no to laptop. Yet, to one shot, one kill. That is what they perpetrated. And now they're running around and crying crocodile tears. And they care, and so on. Care about who? They care about themselves. They care because they feel they're losing the bag. So it really explains why a minister, and somebody spoke about it earlier, or two persons spoke about it earlier, why she could have sat down on that with impunity. Just being a mother. Just being a human being. Knowing that you have left those children still vulnerable. The Prime Minister just glossed over that today, you know. Talk about the task force, and he happy with that. Them children tonight lock up there with somebody that licking their tongue from side to side. And he can't care less because he's sleeping safe in the arms of Jesus in the bed that all you're paying for. He cannot care less. And those children are still there in the same circumstances. And Marsha said it. You're paying for houses that you know have not qualified. How dare you? How dare you? Why don't you work with them to ensure that they reach the standard? You are there taking state money and paying these people to abuse our children. And you feel no remorse. All you are telling us now is that you cried and you upset. So again today, while writing my remarks, I saw that this lady got killed, and tonight we have this thing. So if there's no justice for Marva Sutherland, who they killed in Andrews Place, Blue Basin today, there is no peace or no justice anywhere. Because no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. If Marva cannot get justice, it can't have no peace nowhere. If they feel that burglar proof and all the alarms and so on, I have all of those things. But ask my mother, when we are driving sometimes, you're so frightened, just driving in the road and in your car and all the glass lock up. You are afraid. You know why? Because now the shooting has come out of the areas the deem as hotspot, and it's all over. The people down at West Shore there tonight. Anybody could have gotten hit. That is what is happening. You are seeing them in bars, just going and they're shooting anybody, they're just shooting it up. It's the Wild Wild West. It's JT Edson. It's Floating Head Outfit. It's Yabel Kid. They don't care. And you know why they don't care? Because Rowley does not care. They don't care. Nobody cares. So unfortunately, as I said, businessmen in Russia knew they couldn't talk out because they could find themselves falling out, surfing out of some high window. Or they're sitting on a park bench and they turn blue. And that's what is happening here. Now everybody frightened to talk out. So we have to commend Curtis Williams when he writes. Because but today he's there talking, but rubbish in the media, you know. Why do you all take on the UNC? What is that? That's a dictatorship. He's telling them, do not take on the opposition. Because he does not want any opposition. He wants free reign to do what he wants. Unfortunately, I can bring no optimism to the issue of a safer Trinidad and Tobago. The government does not have the will, resolve, or human resources to turn the tide. So they go, we will not get here. We didn't get here by guess. Right? If this fella didn't care about laptop, that is what we have now. And, you know, in wrapping up, I don't know if you all remember, Kamala Prasad Bisasa was Minister of Education before she was Prime Minister. And you know what she did? Children who used to fail common entrance, used to have about 20,000 failing. They all got the advantage of universal secondary education. That is how you keep a child away from gangs. Because they're in school learning something. Kamala Prasad Bisasa said in 2015, had she won, children on the streets at 2:30, when you find a child between school time on the streets, they had to account for themselves. Or the parents had to account for why they were on the street. So education, sports, good schools. You don't think Success Laventille could do as well as SAGS or Lakshmi Girls? You think they're any less? No, they're not any less. But they have no motivation. The schools mash up. Everything mash up inside of there. And Rowley doesn't care. Why? Because every election, they just go mindlessly. And the mantra is, me don't want no Indian, me don't want no Indian, me don't want no Indian. Let me put for Rowley. A man say, my hand just as go and touch the ball, he say, never mind how I feel. No thinking. I'm not saying just vote for the UNC, but at least think. If it ain't working for you, it ain't working for you. Vote in your own best interest. We're voting to keep Rowley in power for. What Rowley doing for you? So don't ask me how we got here. Because when Rowley and Young shut out people from Trinidad during this pandemic, and Kamala Prasad Bisasa was the only voice crying in the wilderness, everybody stayed quiet. Inhumane and wrong. People watching. Yes, young people were left to roam the streets. When school was online, they had no devices and no connectivity. Nobody had tell them to swim in sea. Had some kind of impact, but they lock off the beach. So you have nothing to do. They just left you sitting there. And on and on. So I'm saying, on the 20th, the Prime Minister said, come, you should go and see. Right? They've made a mockery of the justice system because I said before, when they say you're guilty, and when they say you're innocent, you're innocent. So they have matters in court. And once is against anybody who's a PNM friend, family, or financier, they don't go, they don't show up. They put in no witness statement. They don't send any lawyers. What do you think they're doing? They are creating a travesty of the system of justice in this country. Everything must mash up. So they feel you people are stupid. But UNC, we cannot give up. We must fight for the 4 divers they left to die. We must fight. We must never forget that. These people are cruel. These people are wicked. These people don't care anything. Right? We must fight for the victims. We fight for the victims of rape. Fight for the victims of rape. Who the Minister of National Security said. Like they like it. Because they just go and do something and exchange of money. Have you ever heard anything more vile and sordid in your own life? Sordid. This is what these people are saying. They have no heart and no conscience. They don't care. We must fight for single mothers who don't know where to turn, the husbands who have not worked in 2 years, watching their children cry, for workers who have lost their representation. The struggle is real, Diego Martin. The road is long and hard, but as sure as the night follows day, what is going to happen? The sun will rise again. I thank you so much.
John, stay on your feet. Stay on your feet. We want to recognize the Member of Parliament for Caroni Central, the Honorable Ram. We want to recognize the Member for Cuba North, the Honorable Ravi Ratiram, Arnold Ram, Ravi Ratiram, General Secretary, all the executive members. Diego Martin, make some noise! If you play football, UNC, PAN, UNC, education, UNC, crime and safety, UNC, labor, UNC, if you love children, UNC, if you're a woman, UNC, if you love Trinidad and Tobago, vote UNC. Good night.
Hi everyone, we have doubles to the back if you haven't gotten. Grab a doubles, grab a drink. You know, come and say hi, of course, to everyone as well, right? But don't let the doubles waste, right?